Welcome to the Sci-Fi Center, the place to be, where comic books and wrestling collide magically. Movies, TV shows, and pop culture we share. Get ready to rock, we're here to take you there. From superheroes to aliens in outer space, we've got the latest news and reviews in our embrace. Turn on your screen, let the neon lights glow. We'll take you back to the 80s. Let's rock and roll. Sci-Fi Center, where the legends come alive. Get ready to geek out, let your imagination fly. We're diving into the past with a touch of modern flair. Sci-Fi Center, the ultimate pop culture lair.
Woo! Welcome to Saturday Overnight Live. I don't know why that is so dark. Let me fix that. Sorry for the tardiness, but it's been a whirlwind of a day. Opened up the store. Ooh, that looks like shit. I'm going to see if I can fix that. Opened up the store for a couple hours. Then we did our Nosferatu screening, which I'll give a review here after we start the show off with the AEWs Worlds End. So spent a couple hours there, came back here. And I've been really busy. Like I said, it's a good problem I have, but I've been super duper busy since then. And like I said, I literally had to stop everything what I was doing just to help customers for about an hour and a half solid. So that time that I would be using to set up this show, I was literally, doing this. So sorry about that. For those of you who are hanging around at 8, business happens, life happens. So welcome to the show. Among all of our topics we will be discussing first off, soon I run down the list, AEW's World End. I know not all of you are wrestling fans, but it's part of the show and I am one. So we'll get it out of the way. We'll give a review of Nosferatu. Very, very, very weird movie.
I forget things.
Beautiful movie, though. It is a beautiful movie. It is great to look at. I'll go through all the details. I'll give you a non-spoiler review because it just came out on Wednesday. Weird. There's a couple other adjectives. Then we'll go ahead and review the latest Absolute comic to come out, which is Absolute Wonder Woman #3. That is the standard cover. That is one of the variants. I got shorted on variants this week, but people love the Wonder Woman. One of the customers that I was dealing with from Portland, she's Wonder Woman fanatic. She had her little scan bar, and she was just going through scan, beep, beep, and she left with a haul. And a lot of my Absolute Wonder Womans are gone because of her. But hey, we'll roll them out. And then we will discuss some of the one rumor I really want to put to sleep forever, and that is, and you can kind of see it in the thumbnail, the Matt Reeves universe crossing over with the DCU. I don't know what this is, like a zombie rumor. I don't know what we need to do to kill it. What do we need to do? I mean, what do we need to do to cut up the body, bury it in separate places? It doesn't make any sense. It's a stupid rumor. They both parties involved, unless they change their mind and are swerving us like wrestling or something like that, they have both explicitly laid out their plans for their universe. I don't care how long it takes the Batman to come out. If it doesn't come out till the year 3000, that doesn't mean it you know. And like I said, the biggest question for anybody who's bringing this rumor up is why? Why would they do this? And nobody has given me a good answer. So hopefully, I can do my part, our part in tying a weight to the body of this dumb rumor and letting it sink to the bottom of the ocean, Dexter style. But first thing we're going to do is we're going to start off with professional wrestling and AEW's Worlds End. That's another thing I was trying to do. I was trying to watch that pay-per-view while I was helping customers. We were actually, like I said, I had customers. For those of you who've been in the Sci-Fi Center, the store is split up into different sections, and I had customers in each section. So I was running around, and I couldn't really loaf it, So all right, so AEW's Worlds End taking place from Orlando, Florida. All right, so pre-show, Toni Storm, who's back to her old gimmick, she She defeated Lila Gray. I am tired too, by the way. She defeated Lila Gray by pinfall, Storm Zero. Jeff Jarrett, I don't know why he's still on TV anymore, defeated QT Marshall. That's the free matches. Layla Rush, Action Andrade, Murder Machines, Lance Archer, and Brian Cage with Don Callis and the Outrunners, who need to be higher up in the card. They're popular enough. Defeated them by pinfall. Really wasn't paying attention to that match. Will Ospreay defeated Kyle Fletcher in the opening match, which is a great match. The only thing that ruined this match for me is the bleeding. And, he was bleeding in like 2 seconds into the match, but Will Ospreay defeated Kyle Fletcher. Kyle Fletcher's an underrated performance. I really like that match, but once again, if you're a wrestling fan and you watch the show, whenever you hear the words Will Ospreay come out of my mouth, it's usually going to be one of the best matches of the year, and it was. Kazuchika Okada defeated Ricochet, which was an excellent match. Okada is one of the best wrestlers to ever do it. Got a chance to meet him, got one of my belts signed. And Ricochet, if you've been watching WWE, the guy was woefully underutilized. And they were throwing toilet paper and all kinds. They were booing him as a heel. He's perfect as a heel, and I'm glad that they're doing that with him. But he lost to Okada. Okada moved on into the Continental Classic semifinal. Mariah May beat Thunder Rosa in a very ugly Tijuana. It was a Tijuana street fight, which basically is a brawl, no rules, thumbtacks, all kinds of crazy stuff. It's weird to see the women doing this. Thumbtacks are all over the place. Trash cans. There was even a tricycle used as a weapon. Pretty entertaining match. Mariah May retained her title. Pretty good match, but like I said, those matches are a mess. They had to wait to clean up the ring. I think Mariah May is going to keep that title until she gets beat by Toni Storm. MJF defeated Adam Cole with Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. This match, I don't know why MJF is a mid-carder right now. Paying him a lot of money just to be there. He cheated, of course. He uses the title that they were fighting for was MJF's ring that he wins every year, and he used it to cheat. That match wasn't, like I said, if you're watching this on replay, you can go ahead and speed past that match. Kanushka Takeshita with Don Callis defeated Powerhouse Hobbs in a match that was better than it had any business being, and it was too high up in the card for the international title. This is the best I've seen both of these gentlemen look in about months. So good match. Wasn't the best, but good match. Mercedes Moné probably wrestled her best match since she's been with the company. She defeated Chris Statlander by pinfall in a match where I really thought they might take the strap off of her. This is for the TBS title, and they made it convincing that maybe Statlander might beat her tonight, but she retained her title. I think it was a submission. I was with a customer at the end of that match, but just for the last seconds. But it was a really good match. Mercedes Moné really, I mean, she's a great wrestler, but when she wrestles bigger women, she struggles and it doesn't look good. It looked good tonight. Okada defeated Will Ospreay in one of the best matches of the year. Yeah, this match was hard hitting. They had, Will Ospreay was playing and he injured. He had his head all bandaged up from all the blood that he lost. So they played on that angle. But it was a really good match. That they were both at the top of their game. Okada wins it with a Rainmaker, and the way he hits it was kind of cool. Will Ospreay is doing a flip into him. He grabs him by the tights, swings him around, and literally turns him 360. So I love that match. Probably the best match of the night. Then it goes on to Jon Moxley defeated Orange Cassidy, Hangman Adam Page, and Jay White in basically a free-for-all chaos match. But the match was basically a setup for Edge coming back. Edge and FTR, now they're calling themselves Rated FTR. That's a lot of shirts to be sold there. Came in and saved the day. So they announced the match for them. This match, bells and whistles, wasn't anything special wrestling-wise. One of the better pay-per-views they've put on in a couple of years. So I enjoyed it. Once again, like I said, I had to break it up. Usually I'm able to watch these things, but I was not able to watch them like I was on, because like I said, for a good reason, for a very good reason as a retailer. All right. Yeah, he's getting better. Ricochet needs to cut promos. He's getting better. They did not use him for that in WWE. He was just basically, hey, look at this high-flying guy, and he can do all kinds of stuff. But I think there's a lot of people in AEW that can do that. Will Ospreay, there's like about 4 or 5 guys that can do not as good as Ricochet, but similar stuff to what Ricochet does. So him being able to cut promos and get under the crowd's skin is a good thing to add to those abilities. So yeah, he is starting to cut promos. He's getting better at it, but I'm going to give him some time. Little RJ was with us today, and
I saw you posted with the Nosferatu show. Because I was really. Do you live in Vegas, RJ? Do you just have family out there?
Yes, family out here.
Okay.
We'll talk about this as we get to the. There's rats. There's rats inside. We'll get to that. Trying to be organized tonight, guys. Trying to do the show with the flow, but I got ADD. All right, so hello, RJ. Does Edge and Cage win the tag team titles 25? Who knows? When they all were in the ring, I thought somebody was going to turn heel. Listen, what they're doing with Christian Cage at this stage of his career is excellent. This guy, he basically is walking around with a contract and a steel binder he's smacked the shit out of people with it. The binder's all bent up. It's all fucked up. And he's got it. He can cash it in anywhere. And he keeps showing up at these matches like this. You'll be watching the match. All of a sudden, they aim up to him. And you remember, okay, this guy can really jam things up. So with Edge finally healthy, by the way, Edge broke his leg when he was here in Vegas for Double or Nothing. I was actually watching. I actually filmed him breaking his leg. I didn't know he was going to break his leg. He's 50. When he's 50 and he's on top of a very high cage. This cat jumps off the cage onto, I forgot who it was, onto a table, and he lands wrong, and he was up so high he broke his leg. He just came back tonight. Crowd popped for both of them. They are really, really, I mean, some people can just do it forever. So now you got Edge and Christian. I don't know if they're going to team up or whatever, but right now he's in a group called Rated FTR. FTR is a great tag team. Hey, Rhea, Glimmering Cast. Like and subscribe to her channel too. William, Brad, Spidey. This is everybody. All right. Hello, Spider-Man. Thanks for inviting me to come out a little bit to see. Yeah, it was fun. Like I said, I'll show you the pictures. We rented out the theater. I got my little screen up there. I took myself. I love doing that. I have no problem looking like fools. Hello, Fourth. Hal Jordan. Edge versus Moxley will happen. I think that's going to happen sooner. I think they're setting something up bigger than Edge and Moxley. I still need to know who Moxley's working for because he keeps hinting at it, but we haven't seen it. All right, hello, Clint. I don't know when you're. I'm gonna give. Bad. Did you see Nosferatu yet?
No, probably good. I'm sure I see it tomorrow night.
Okay,
friends, but yeah.
We'll go over here because we don't so we'll have our regular Sunday stream tomorrow since we don't have any shows. It was different. It was different. Like I said, some really, really weird.
I've heard good
You
things.
cut out.
I've heard good things.
Yeah, so it was all right. So we're going to let's go ahead and get into Nosferatu review because like I said, I got my 10. We got a couple of 10s. I gave away one at the show. So if you guys are there, let's see. Do I want to go to Instagram or I want to go to Twitter? Did I post everything on Twitter? I think I posted everything on Twitter. Yeah, I posted it on Twitter. So here we go. So let's share the stream. Make sure there's nothing stupid up on the screen that I don't need anybody to see. Present, share. It's too many steps. StreamYard. All right, so that's us. And there we go. That's when we do these, we set up our own promo screens. There's my QR code. So that's how we gave away the 10 is when you could you send me an email while you were sitting in the audience. And, you know, I picked a winner at random there. So there's me with my popcorn 10 there. These are really nice, by the way. I don't know if you got one, but I encouraged because they gave us such a great deal on the cinema, on the rental and everything else. I don't know if you got one, but I encouraged everybody who was with us to get one because they're cheap. They're $20. They're $20 and they are made out of 10. Kind of hear that? I'd say they're about 16 inches long. Inside, I don't know if you guys can't see that. Here, hold on. Let's do this so that you guys can see. These are detailed for what they are, and I was really impressed with them. Really impressed with them. Hold on. Let's bring a light in here so that you can see. All right, so if you can kind of look closely there are plague rats at the bottom. It's even detailed inside the sarcophagus. It's etched inside. All right, and then it has this crest on either end of it. I mean, it's embossed too. It's not just a drawn on there. It's actually embossed on there, which was like I said, a nice cool little step. On the bottom, the title. The sides are cool. There's his main crest on the sides, and then the little. And this is actually the one that was in the movie, but a little bit less detail. The handles, his sigil there, and then his sigils on either end as well. The top, detailed the inside as well. The top, as if and then his stamp. The stamp, he uses a red stamp that he uses. Those circles are his stamp. And then the handles and the gargoyles are on their end. Like I said, I encourage everybody because if you want to help keep theaters going, I mean, going to see the movie is not enough. Buying concessions and when they do stuff like this adds to their revenue. But this was cool. Just about everybody I recommended went to go see this. So, all right, now on to the movie. Let's minimize my screen. Let me show you a couple more pictures before we go. Let's see. So there's our theater. This is when I walked into the theater to just check everything out, make sure the promo was on the screen. There's me. There's my popcorn tin. I'm standing behind it, and then the website, everything else. Just got a couple pictures of that before we got started. So that's how I spent my afternoon before I got here. All right, the movie itself is longer than it needs to be. It's clocked in at 2 hours and 15 minutes. And in retrospect, watching it did not need to be that long. There are entire characters that really didn't need to have the kind of roles that they had in this movie. It was too long. It has some issues with pacing towards the middle, but not too bad. Some of the dialogue is cheesy. The dialogue is cheesy. Its placement is cheesy. But that's the kind of movie it was. A lot of the things. It's a weird movie in regards to how it's been shot. The cinematography I thought was great. They did things with shadows in this movie I haven't seen done in a long time. he took his cues. If you watch the original, and we've watched it here, if you watch the original Nosferatu, FWMRNO does things with shadows. Like there's one scene where he has built a small, he has built a small mock-up of the town, and he has Max Schreck's hand going over it and lit behind, so it looks like he's reaching over the of the entire city. That's what Robert Eggers did here. He did it. He used it a lot more though. He has scenes where the shadows are like, wrapping around the door and opening the locks from the other side. I thought that was cool. The setting was cool. It looked like it was in 19th century Germany. And where this is set, it's not set like the normal Dracula film. This is literally a remake of that film. I didn't like the design of Nosferatu or Count Orlok. They did a good job in hiding him and all the promotions and everything else. You really only see his eyes and everything else. But the design of the character, once you completely see him, I thought they could have done something more along the lines of what the original Nosferatu looked like. He still looks grisly. He still looks scary. But I wish they did. When you see him, you'll know what I mean. He just looks. There's certain elements on that they've done that kind of like, I don't know if that works out. Some weird sex in this movie. Without spoiling it, there are sex with things that probably are not supposed to be having sex with. And I'll just leave it there until you guys see the movie. Visually,
we talk about that with Tokyo Gore Police.
No, we're talking about Nosferatu. Lily Rose Depp has I see maybe some potential there. I thought she overacted. I thought she overemphasized it, and it kind of took me out of certain moments, especially with some of the cheesy dialogue. I thought she kind of overdid it. She's kind of pivotal to the story, by the way. So her overdoing it kind of sets you off. Overall, I thought the movie was really good. I thought stylistically, I think it does what it needs to do. There's some jump scares in there, but I don't know if I was terrified, about it. I mean, some people told me it was the scariest movie of the year. I'm like, nah, it's a really good movie. It could have, done better in certain areas. The costuming is great. The cinematography is great. The sets are great. The makeup is great. The way they adapted because when you see Nosferatu in 2020, he only adapts certain. FW didn't adapt everything out of Bram Stoker's book. It feels like Robert Eggers went back to the original novel and used Nosferatu 1922 as a lens to try to tell newer things in his story that weren't portrayed in the original one. Obviously it's a 102-year age difference between the two of them, but don't let that fool you though, because Mornar was probably one of the. I mean, when it came to German expressionism, and here's the one thing that I thought, when you remake a silent movie, it's really hard, and Robert Eggers probably is, probably going to come as close to pulling it off as anybody. When you don't have sound and you don't have, interaction in that way, there's a lot of things that you do in a movie when the silent era to get your point across, that I think that's where the dialogue was kind of rubbing me the wrong way. And some of the things that they did, the histrionics that they did, because in its original form, Murnau had to do a lot of different things, and he did a lot without saying things. There would be times, even when, in his movies, where he didn't even have the subtitles on there because there wasn't anything going on. Max Schreck was doing what he was doing. All the actors were giving it their body rhythm, everything. You don't need to do that in the sound era, obviously, but you can feel that there are certain moments of dread that just aren't there that I can still get from the 1922 version. But once again, I think it's highly recommended, especially if you're into vampire movies. If you like Robert Eggers movies, where do I put this? I don't know. I'm still trying to put my brain back together from The Lighthouse. I don't know what I saw with that. I just kind of feeling myself drawn that way here. Yeah, but they are, yeah. The Lighthouse was weird. The Northman I loved. What's the other movie he did? Didn't he do The Witch? Which he hasn't done too many.
Yeah, he's fairly fresh.
Yeah. this might have been my favorite of his movies. This might have been my favorite of his movies. I enjoyed it. Like I said, there were things about it that I wish were better, but not enough to not make this a highly recommendable movie. I could see it competing at Oscar time for visual effects, definitely for cinematography. I mean, I don't know if it'll win because it's going to be up against Dune and Gladiator and all kinds of and other stuff like that. But the cinematography really makes this it's a beautiful film. And in the scenes, the angles and everything that they shoot it at, the scene breakdowns, the sequences after the middle act is kind of like, ooh, okay, what are we doing? And like I said, there's certain characters in there that, yeah, they need to be there, but they don't need to be on the screen as long as they are. You could have shortened that movie. It felt like a 2 hour and 15 minute movie. But all that being said, you like Robert Eggers, go see it. Definitely go see this. If you like vampires, and if you like Nosferatu in general, they stick to a lot of the religious ritualistic stuff that's not in Marno's film. But that is in Bram Stoker's Dracula, which is one thing I will give him credit for. Like I said, he reached back into, Bram Stoker's lore to add to his Nosferatu movie, and that I thought was cool. I noticed that it was very noticeable. Had fun with it. Had fun with the crowd. Thank you for everybody who was local, who was able to show up. Alan Redstone, I got a picture of you somewhere. Congratulations. Enjoy your 10. Everybody else, he won one and everybody else went out and bought one. So, like I said, when you go to the movie theaters, everybody who says, I want to see cinema thrive and survive and all that, $20, man. $20. It's nice. It's cool. I've seen all kinds of people saying, I saw Meg say she's going to put her vapes in it. I saw other people saying that they're going to put things that are probably not mentionable on the air in it. Who knows? I'm just going to have it sitting up here next to my other stuff. But these popcorn buckets, this is really fun, by the way. The era of the popcorn bucket or the container, whatever bucket we call this, is a lot of fun, and I hope it continues. I think every movie that has that spectacular avenue to it, really, before you greenlight the movie, somebody in the back of the crowd in the meeting room say, hey, what about the popcorn buckets? What are the ideas for those? Because I'm telling you, there were people showing up at our screening that weren't even going to that already seen the movies, but they sold out they sold out where they were at. So they were trying to scoop ours up. So I told everybody in my audience, go get one or go get two. Like I said, be greedy.
Bell Rev, how's it going?
Hi, Bell. What's going on? So yeah, that's what my take on Nosferatu. I highly recommend it. Like I said, perfect movie. Nah, I stopped looking for the perfect movie. It's really good though. It's really good.
Probably like I said, probably gonna give it a look tomorrow night with some friends. I thought about doing it tonight, but I mean, it was doing some family stuff. Earlier, I just came home. I was just dead tired, so save for
that's how I felt on Christmas when I was gonna go. I was thinking about seeing the opening day, but then I'm like, So yeah, for those of you who stopped by the store in the middle of the day, that's where I was. But we had already planned it. I had already had the sign. So you guys who have seen Nosferatu, what did you think about it? I'm going to answer and talk about some of it here, and then leave a comment in the comment section and let me know what you thought of it. Why did you were right there, dude? I should have snagged a popcorn bucket, but I didn't want to put more crap in the car when it's already hard to fit everything in there. But you could just send it, dude. You could send it. It's lightweight. You could put it in a box and take it to the post office because you're gonna get back to home. And I'm telling you, man, they're gonna like I said, these are cheaper than the other ones. The Deadpool one was like $40. Some of them, are in the 39, 40, minimum range, right? And then this one was for what it was. It's I think it's dirt cheap, but
I still think that Bat Signal one, that's my favorite one I've seen so far.
I have people offering to buy it. I had somebody offer to buy it.
Because it's so cool because it's like that the way it's designed. It's like you could actually call Batman with it. I mean, it's like an actual fully functioning Bat Signal.
You saw my little movie I shot it a couple weeks ago where I have it aimed at this. I had a customer here today. And he didn't know I had it, so I turned out the lights in the store so I could turn it on for him. It's kind of cool. All right, so who else saw? Did any of you guys in the chat see it? Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't know what the goals were for how much. I think it was only made for $50 million. Yeah, $50 million, which means it's gonna make its money back. But they released this for Oscar stuff. Let's see. Yeah, Aleister Black was in the pre-show. I don't know why they're not doing it. They got too many people on their roster. To be honest with you, I think some of them need to be released. I don't like that they had a Kyle Fletcher to lose the night. I don't think that's a decision. I don't think Kyle Fletcher is ready to be at that level. To be honest with you, I like Kyle Fletcher, but he's still a little bit green. He's still under development, and if you're going to put him in a Continental Classic like that, you're putting him up there with the likes of Jay White, Okada, and all those guys. Wrestling and athletic ability, yes, he's very talented. I've gotten a chance to see him wrestle, but one of the things that you have to really have, and this is what Ricochet is going through right now, is you need to be entertaining everywhere that they put you, whether it's in the ring, behind the mic, everything else, because you're selling, your matches. Every time you're doing a promo, you're selling that piece of your pay-per-view. And I don't think Kyle Fletcher is distinguished enough yet. I like Kyle Fletcher, but I don't think he's distinguished enough right now yet to be the best thing that they did was hook him up with Don Callis, who plays the role of a piece of shit, and you can hate him because right now Kyle Fletcher's just not. I don't think he's ready for that type of thing, and putting him in that role, I think would probably hurt him because people will instantly realize that. Nosferatu was my first Robert Eggers film. Okay, cool. I don't know if The Lighthouse is going to be for you. It's kind of weird. He does weird things in just about every movie. Just weird. A hell of a way to start because that movie gets real crazy and nasty. Yeah, it does. It does. And like I said, I'm sitting next to people. I'm like, are they about to do this? Yeah, they did it. But yeah, it was. I mean, he does weird shit in every movie. I mean, you could probably go through each of these movies and pick out. Yep, that's him. That's Robert. That's like his signature on the cover. Let's see. Yep, popcorn coffin. Yeah, that's how I was doing it today. I was doing the emojis. Told you, man. You just go with the gut when it comes to the popcorn buckets, man. Because you're not gonna some of these popcorn buckets, you're not gonna get another opportunity to say, let me go back. Because like I said, yeah, like I said, it's pretty cool. I really like having stuff live. What are you gonna put there? Sci-Fi Center suggestion box. Let me put in here. I already have a Sci-Fi Center.
Aaron says, "I wonder if these are popcorn buckets for popcorn."
Yeah, here's the official Sci-Fi Center suggestion. No, I'm just kidding. You know what? A lot of people did. I didn't. I felt weird. Okay, there's rats at the bottom, and I know they're not real, but do I want to be eating something? That's why I don't eat at only a Chuck E. Cheese. There's a rat serving your food. So
this is why, like, also, like, we're talking about, like, from a revenue standpoint, like, you need to do more re-releases, like big things, like find a way to get creative with popcorn buckets. I like, I mean, like, imagine they could do one for like Raiders of the Lost Ark or like Indiana Jones, like Raiders of the Lost
Ark,
like the Ark of the Covenant,
the Covenant,
and then Last Crusade would be the Holy Grail, and could they do one for Temple of Doom? Because you got the Shankara stones. I don't know if you can turn that into a popcorn bucket.
I would say, well, because you would only, if you re-released it, they'd probably limit it to one.
Maybe they should do for Temple of Doom, do like a heart.
Nah, it'd be the arc. I mean, it would literally be the artifact that starts them all.
And then Crystal Skull, that would be the Crystal Skull.
Yeah, I don't even mind of the refrigerator, maybe.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, it was a nice theater. It was hard to fill it up because it was we didn't know that they were getting the movie until we were planned on it. Then it said, they're not sending us the movie, and then they did, and then I had to scramble, and then they upgraded us. They put us in a really big theater. It's a nice one, and we the last 2 times we did it in the smaller one. So I'm going to tomorrow with my homegirl to see Nosferatu after the Cowboys and Seagal's game. Who are they playing tomorrow? Okay. Oh, well, the Cowboys might lose that one, but are you going to be using the cup? Nah, it's pretty much going to sit here. It's going to sit here. Right next to my Deadpool one here. How you doing, Azteca? All right, let's see. The characters talk like they're from the era. I wasn't from there. If you don't like the very Britishy dialogue and always of talking, you might have a hard time following one. Yeah, it was a bit over the top. It was a bit over the top. Yeah, the cinematography is, like I said, it's probably the best thing about it. All right, let's see. What are you disagreeing with, Anthony? You just came in and said hello, and now you're disagreeing. Yeah. Cody on. Cody is facing KO at the Royal Rumble. Let's see. Just going through before he. Yeah, Okada retained. He won the tournament. Now the cool. Hold on, I left this out. The cool thing about this is why I always knew Okada was going to win, because Kenny Omega was ready to come back, and they've been wanting that match forever. I want that match. If you know who Kenny Omega or Okada is, you need that match. Kenny Omega just got back from diverticulitis. He almost died. So he recovered from that, and now he's been cleared to wrestle. So what happened is once Okada retained, and Christopher Angel came out, and he says ordinarily I would come down there and award you the belt, but that's something that EVP does, and I'm no longer EVP. But this guy is, and then they played Kenny Omega's music. He got a good reaction. He came out there, no words were said. He hands Okada the belt. They stare each other down. He goes back. So they're setting up that match. So so that gives them something to fight over. But yeah, if you've ever watched some of Okada Kenny Omega matches, they're some of the best matches that have ever been done. Hello, Bell. How you doing? Okay, let's see. William, Robert Edwards reveals he's offered William Dafoe roles in his next two potential film. Yeah, William Dafoe is really good in this.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
Yeah, he kind of tails really off at the end.
He's really good in The Lighthouse too.
Yeah, that movie. He's very convincing. He plays the Von Helsing type character in the movie. He's very convincing as that character. The way they bring him in is kind of cool. He's not in the whole movie, but he's in enough of it to really make it different. And like I said, he helps frame the lore without having to spend a lot of time on it. He does exactly what Anthony Hopkins does in that role and advances. In fact, you know what? In all the right ways, I felt like I was in the 1992 Dracula with Francis Ford Coppola. It had that type of vibe to it, and I really love that movie. It's one of my favorite Coppola movies. Yeah, I don't know how many times I'll be rewatching the Lighthouse. I think we're just gonna, pass on that one. All right, so Gladiator 2 ain't winning a thing. Dune, Dune is my favorite to win a lot of stuff, but there are movies out there. There's Gladiator. There's actually, what's hilarious is Timothée Chalamet may beat himself for Best Actor because he's playing Bob Dylan, and if he gets nominated for Dune, he's basically going to be he's gonna occupy two of the five spots for Best Actor, because I think he may get nominated for Dune. My fingers on the button. Oh, okay. Yep, I got the Doom ones at the office at the house, so I don't bring that one here. William Nosferatu added another $7 million on Friday and is projected to get $39 million through the 5-day frame for a $50 million movie. That's pretty good. And it's not going to be for everybody. No Robert Eggers film is, but so that's like I said, on a $50 million budget. This is definitely a streamable movie. This is definitely a date night stream movie. If you just got two people, that's good. I don't know what kind of legs it'll have next week, but I don't think there's anything coming out. next week. To be honest with you, that should really
it'd be quiet. It always is first weekend of the new
and
year.
it only needs 11 more million or so. Actually, probably needs a little bit more if it wants to break. But the licensing deals that they sign with the cinemas for these things will probably help. And like I said, it's gonna be on PVOD in a month. Shit, Wicket's already on its way there.
The first, probably not surprising, first big release see on the calendar for next year is a horror movie. It's called The Damned. The Damned on the 3rd, and then the 10th, or the Wolfman is on the 17th.
Yeah, we're promoting that movie. I don't like the design of the Wolfman. I'm gonna go see it because I think it's Blumhouse, but I really don't like the design of the Wolfman.
Yeah,
the trailer for Wolfman just done nothing for me.
Yeah, I was kind of iffy on it too. So we'll see. Can't believe it's already been 14. Well, now by the time this comes out, 15 years since the last Wolfman.
All right, so that's my opinion on Nosferatu. We're gonna roll right into the Batman being delayed.
Oh my God. For top picks this week.
I have seen so many reasons of people thinking it's it's not going to happen and all that, and it's just this just means this or that, and so far they've been bullshit. I think the best tweet about it has been from James Gunn. Do you have that tweet?
I'm gonna pull that up.
Yeah, he goes over a timeline, and be honest with you, I hate to admit that. Fuck, I waited that long for that movie or that movie? Shit, I waited 7 years for that movie? 13 years for that movie? Because we look at it in retrospect and we think, a sequel just came out. Nah, hell, I'm not saying we need to go to the extremes, but I waited 35 years for a Blade Runner sequel, 36 years for a Top Gun sequel that they talked about for 20 years.
There are other sequels I'm waiting on that, could be in that, 7 to 10 year time frame,
we look at you look at a movie like Independence Day, where they should have just waited another 10 years.
That's example, man.
Yeah, it's not, but there are times where it does take time. But addressing one of the rumors I saw in the chat, I don't. As far as personal issues, we don't have any. I don't have any confirmation of anything. I've heard rumors, but because they're just rumors and they're unsubstantiated, I don't want to bring them up on the show.
There's some chatter going around about some potential behind the scenes stuff that's not like production related or internally related. And that's about as far as we'll take. It's like William and we've heard a few things in confidence from somebody we trust. I can't speak to the veracity of this information other than the source I consider trustworthy, but that's neither here nor there. You may start seeing some of this kind of percolate, on social media here and there, but that kind of puts some context into all like the Batman 2 delays. But it's not, again, whatever this falls under rumor speculation, and it's not for us to put out there if this indeed is the case.
Bottom line for me, I think the Batman 2 is going to happen. Here's the thing, guys. If they were going when Warner Brothers, Discovery, DC, whatever, they don't want to do something, they tell you. And you guys have seen when they tell you we're not going forward with something. Batgirl, Wile E. Coyote, they have no problems telling you when they have decided to move on from something.
Real quick, that response that James gonna give, was that on Twitter or Threads, or where was that at?
That's on Twitter.
It's on Twitter? Okay, because he's replying to somebody, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because somebody's saying, is this ever going to happen? And which was a valid question. His answer was pretty spot on. And he gave an answer backed up by literal facts. You can't even dispute what he said.
I might need to look. I'm not seeing it on his Twitter.
But I do think the Batman's going to happen. I will say it is disheartening. We have to phrase it that way after all these years, but people try to compare it to Black Panther, and you just can't. That's a silly comparison. The reason why is we have the Batman #1, and they were happy with it. We not Black Panther. I'm sorry, Blade. We don't have a modern Blade movie that fits in anything that matters. So if you had a Blade movie with Mahershala Ali already that made $800 million, and they said we're going to make a Blade 2, and it took forever, then that would be a more comparable situation. Right now with Blade, you have nothing. With the Batman, you actually have a movie that made profit and that they liked, and that led to other projects being greenlit. And another thing is if he starts, even if other people start working on Matt Reeves' universe stuff, Penguin season 2, all these other things, then it ain't going on anywhere. So I see a lot of people that are worried. I'm like, yeah, it sucks. I want the Batman 2 sooner than later. Trust me. But like I said, as James Gunn laid out, it's a process, especially now when you have him working on other things. That doesn't mean those things aren't going to happen.
Okay, it was on Threads. I'm not on Threads.
It was on Threads. Okay, wow.
Yeah,
wow,
I haven't got on Threads. That's why I didn't. Let's see if there's some. I'm going to pull it up here. First, I'll go ahead and pull up the quote tweet or quote thread or whatever the hell it's called on there. He was asked about the rumors about the Batman. Yes, it's true. The only reason for the delay is that there isn't a full script. Those of you who follow me on here probably know that already. Matt is committed to making the best film he possibly can, and no one can accurately guess how long a script will take to write once there's a finished script. There's around 2 years of pre-production, shooting, and post-production on big films. And then let's go back a little bit, and because there's also the timeline examples that he gave that William's referring to me. Yeah, here it is. So to be fair, a 5-year gap or more is fairly common in sequels. 7 years between Alien and Aliens, 14 years between Incredibles, 7 years between the first 2 Terminators, 13 years between Avatars, 36 years between Top Guns, and yes, of course, 6 years between Guardians Volume 2 and 3. Now that last one, I don't know if that's the best example because there's a reason why there was a very unusual reason why there for that 6-year gap between Guardians 2 and 3. But other than that,
but there's still until we know the exact reasoning of why there's this gap, it could line up with they're all there's the fact that he's putting out there is that there are legitimate reasons for each of these cases. Individually, they may be different reasons, there may be different circumstances, but they're all legitimate reasons. And then and then a lot of it's time, a lot of it's doing work on anything like that. But right now we're kind of in the dark. But until DC Studios or Warner Brothers Discovery axes it, like they have publicly axed things that they don't want to do. They, like I said, that's what these guys don't give two shits about what fanboys think when it comes to getting rid of something. James Gunn may care a little bit more than so because he is a fan, but the executives and guys like this, I mean, if they were going to axe something, they just do it. You think they lost any sleep over Batgirl? You think David Zaslav do you think that messed up his golf game when they canceled that? No. You think that when they flushed Coyote versus Acme, you think that took more than 2 seconds out of their day to do it? Once it was done, it was over with? No. They have no qualms. If something was going away, they have no qualms about telling you that it's not going or that it's not continuing. So the fact that there hasn't been any announcement by anyone legitimate, non-rumor based about anything ending, I would say just fine. Now we may hear some things that may substantiate some things, and then the understanding I think will get cleared up. But right now, there's nothing to substantiate that stuff that's been floating out there, and I don't want to get into the gossip game. But I'm still confident. I'm still confident that we're going to get the Batman too.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course, especially with some of the gossip on this, it could be a little bit. I don't want to get too deep into some of that, but
it's really it's a briar patch. I mean, and like I said, if those rumors were true, it's completely understandable.
Yeah, I will admit that some of the memes I saw coming out of this are like it shows the cast really age of that day. In fact, actually, there was one with Pattinson looking really like he's like 20 years old.
He's like 20.
I swear, I thought that fan art one they did with it. I swear, I thought he was Jeremy Irons at first with how much older they made him look. But there's now one thing. Of course, I know William wants to tackle this too because this is also kind of.
Oh, real quick, guys! I'm not going to be hitting every chat. There's just not that much time in the show. We'll read the super chats and things like that. But I got one coming in from Rational that's relevant to this topic. But yeah, with this kind of compacted show, we will be skipping some chats. If you want me to address it later, go ahead and leave it in the comment section, and I'll do my best to address it there. But we may be because it was going to be a 2-hour show. We only got an hour to go because of the compacted schedule, because of what happened today. The good stuff that, like I said, I'm not going to complain why I was late today. Boy, it was great today. But yeah, so and we'll go into the nonsense. The Batman is starting to feel like no. Like I explained before, there is no basis for Blade. If you are thinking Blade is never going to get made, you have actually feel for that because there's no Blade movie. There's no Blade movie. It doesn't fit anywhere right now. There's nothing saying that where they're at in it. There's been no Blade movie. Like I said, if there had been a Blade movie that made a lot of money, and we were waiting on a sequel and we were never getting it, that would be a comparable situation. But there's no Blade movie right now. Right now, we don't have anything. The Batman, you have a movie that made $770 million off of a fairly moderate budget, and that has spawned things that are a telephone. Wow, the fucking move. A television show that is probably gonna win a lot of Emmys. Colin Farrell needs as Penguin, he needs to be up there. Christina Milioti, I think I'm pronouncing it right. She's excellent. She definitely needs to get the show, the wardrobe, that show in general needs to be nominated. So you have things like that, and you have other projects. Now, if something's going on with Matt Reeves, his universe can still grow around the Batman without him. So Blade, you don't have that. You don't have anything right now with Blade. All right, right now you have the actor named. You just got another director, and that's about it. I still think Blade's going to happen, but if you were to contend that it's not going to happen, you have more nightmare fuel for Blade than you do the Batman. You don't. There's the comparisons aren't there. But thank you for the $5 super chat.
We got another one for Rational. Pattinson is getting younger if they keep delaying me. Well, and that I have seen a lot of people point out too that with the new date that the Batman Part 2 has, by the time, presuming that it maintains that date, that by the time it comes out, he will be older, playing year 2 or year 3 Batman than Ben Affleck was when he started as year 20 Batman. So, you know what though?
Yeah. You know what? You could always say, hey, we're no longer. I think. Well, first of all, when we talk about older, remember, we're not talking about normal human. We're talking about aliens from Hollywood.
We're talking about people with resources.
We're talking about people who have money that can stretch their skin.
Well, this is why when Keanu Reeves says about another John Wick, it's like, I want to do it, but my niece say no. It's like, well, he's got the resources where his niece can say yes if he wants them to say yes.
And he's got stunt people that can look like him, but Robert Pattinson, he's 36, 37 years old. He can probably do the Andrew Garfield thing and maintain a certain age. But say, okay, devil's advocate, they don't do it that way. So say we just say, you know what, this Batman is now in year 6, year 7, year 8. We don't.
They could do a time jump
for that. But yeah, so thank you once again for the $5 super.
But that is pertinent to what you say. It's like we talk about like actors aging out of roles, or it's like they're too old to ever do this again. Even in a theoretical sense, it's like again, when you've got the apparatus that these big stars have, the average person does. It's not quite the same conversation.
Yeah, don't wait too long though. Don't be doing the Harrison Ford thing where you're like, that's too long. Let's be honest with you, I have not really the last 2 Indiana Jones films. Be honest with you, the last 3, the last 2 I have not enjoyed those.
Don't have that kind of gap between like Last Crusade to Dial of Destiny, but to be clear, but.
And then you have Dial of Destiny, and then what was the other Crystal? I just really thought, and I love Harrison Ford. I think Harrison Ford can still act, obviously, but when you're trying to play a role that's like that, I mean, the physicality of Indiana Jones, the sprightness of Indiana Jones, it's just not there in those last 2 movies. I mean, it's just really tough to watch. Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, he's got like
he's got CGI help.
I don't know. I still think if they asked him if to do Indy 6, he still would be up for it. But I mean, that's
I think he would say no.
You think so?
I think he would say no. I think he listen. That guy has put his body through everything. So yeah, I thank you for the $5 super chat. Thank you for the support.
We need to stop playing it. Well, we've been telling them that for years, haven't we? And oh yeah, definitely on this team too. Thank you for the super chat, Rev.
Now, once again, that's gonna depend. I think for anything like that, Bell, it's anything we've ever gotten from this is going to take patience. It might take longer than people want to wait. But I think that there's just nothing. I think that everything we've gotten has been from the waiting game and being patient.
And to that point, I kind of alluded to this earlier when Gunn pointed out, like there are extended gaps between a lot of the really revered sequels, to include his last two Guardians movies, and it's like, and that's one thing that's kind of like cited against it, is the passage of time between ZSJL and any theoretical sequels. It's like, but yeah, it's like, as he points out, it's like there are things that have had like 7 to 10 year or even longer gaps, and it's like they still get off the ground with the original cast. So it's like you can also cite the precedent of that if you're making this argument, as I think probably a lot of people will do. But now to bring it back to the Batman Part 2 also, because again, like you said, I don't think there's no, we don't have any hard evidence that James Gunn is trying to kill it or that that now. But the one thing that I do think could kill it, if this did, if there's any veracity to this, or if the people making this request, this is a monkey's paw kind of thing, is the idea of trying to integrate it into the DCU proper, which is like that I think if there was any effort behind the scenes to do that right now, I think
repeat what you just said, Brad. Repeat what you just said.
The I know what you're going to do here too. The Batman being integrated into James Gunn's DCU. Didn't disappoint, man.
What the fuck? I don't understand this. Usually when we come up with the circus shit, I can understand. Okay, I understand that. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, this, yeah, got it. Nothing about this makes any sense. And yeah, did James Gunn have to consider it? You consider everything. Only a dummy doesn't consider anything at all. There's degrees to consideration, though. Like, I can throw this. This Pepsi is sitting on my desk. I could decide I can throw it away. I can consider it. Doesn't mean it's a full can. I'm not going to do that.
William could consider tonight, after we wrap up the show, to do a marathon of Good Burger 1 and 2.
It's never going to happen. But just because somebody considers something doesn't mean that they spent any reasonable time. There's no indication from all the parties involved that this was ever a serious consideration. A consideration and a serious consideration are two different things. I don't understand. My question, maybe for those who will be watching later and those of you who are watching now, this is the part where I'm asking you, why do you think this would happen? Why would you want this to happen? I think
I might have an idea about why that is too. Like, why? Because there is kind of like this renewed sort of push I'm seeing in certain quarters of DC fandom on social media. People saying, no, we want to see Robert Pattinson's Batman integrated, with the DCU and meet David Cornsweet's Superman. And I think I haven't, and this is all like speculation. This is all theoretical. I haven't asked anybody or tested out, how much water this holds. But one theory I think might explain some of that is, I think there are a lot of fans who are like looking back on, what the Snyderverse fandom had to go through, and what happened with Batgirl and what happened with Coyote versus Acme. I think there's certainly looking back on a lot of that and thinking that the only thing that with David Zaslav, not being afraid to put the axe to anything, I think that a lot of them may be rationalizing the idea of that as like, this is like the only thing that kind of safeguards the Batman from any of that happening to it.
It does.
I'm not saying I agree. Yeah. I'm just saying I think
I'm speaking to the people who are rationalizing that. It doesn't. It listen. First of all, those movies that you mentioned up are movies that, like I said, and people can hate me all they want. I don't fucking care. Most of those movies you brought up should have never even been greenlit to the first place. I know there's some cinephiles out there, but how can you say that? It's someone's art. It's a fucking business. That's why. So the Batman doesn't fall into that category. My question, though, and I want to chat. My question, and like I said, if you're looking at this later on today, you can type it in the comment section. Why would you want that? Eliminating all the other exterior silliness. Having watched the Batman, you could eliminate James Gunn's Superman out of it, because we don't even need to have that.
Yeah, there could be. It's like we don't have like a prospective universe, in the works, or one that's already alongside it, or it's like if the Batman was like the only DC thing cinematically we had at the moment.
But if you just take that franchise, what we have from that franchise as we have it right now, and we can exclude anything else that you might want to add into it, there is nothing in what we've seen in the Batman itself or the Penguin that would indicate that those two worlds should ever come together.
Yeah.
You are not really, I don't think you're really appreciating the distinctive values that each of these franchises could have. Just looking at what James Gunn has laid out when the characters that are involved in, and then just turning your head and looking at the Batman. Why would you want to do that to Matt Reeves? Why would you want to do that? Hold on for a second. Why would you want to do that to Matt Reeves? And why would you want to do that to James Gunn? Why would you want to do that to any other creative? These are creative individuals that are building worlds. Why would you want to pollute? And it would be pollution, by the way, to take someone else's idea, someone else's style, someone else's atmosphere, and try to shove it into another person's style or atmosphere. Why would you want to do that? I realize in some world you technically could do something like that, but even in the comic books, there are certain stories that are being told from Batman's point of view, and in his books where Superman is just not appropriate for them, and Superman exists in the world of comics, but there are certain stories that are being told in certain strings of Batman comics where Superman or any other superhero is not appropriate for that setting. Robert Pattinson's and Matt Reeves' Batman is one of those things, and the reverse for Superman. There are certain stories and tones being told in his Superman landscape where Batman of any type doesn't belong. There are a lot that do, but in the cases where they are not consistent and compatible, they should be kept apart out of respect for both creators. And I don't understand why that's not, I don't get it.
And I think again, it's like I said, that's what I thought before with what Matt Reeves's franchise, with Batman is shaping into, and that was before I saw the James Gunn Superman trailer. Now seeing the trailer, I'm like, oh, now I even less before I connect these two together. I mean, you're putting it's what is that analogy? It's like it's mixing oil and water. It's like no, they don't go together.
To be honest,
putting two positive ends of a battery together.
Yeah, it just doesn't have rational. You know what? If no movies entertainment not being made is nothing, none of them the end of the world. Be honest with you, if I'd have never got a Blade Runner 2049, would my life have been lesser? Would I have been less entertained? Yeah, but there's a lot of shit going on to where that's real life stuff. The movies, no movie not happening. Nothing in the entertainment world. Hell, even sports. If the Dodgers wouldn't have won the World Series this year, guess what? Guess what happens the next day after they got eliminated? I get the hell up. I go to work. I go get food. I do the same things, and you drift away from that disappointment, and you get back into your routine. You're fine. So you could kind of say that rational about just about anything that is not within your life. But we talk about it as it is sometimes. And yeah, and even sports, I put holes in many a wall. I try to get better, but yeah, none of this stuff is really the end of the world. I got you.
Well, now one thing I did want to kind of add into what everything you just said about like why Pattinson's Batman and Gunn's Superman, they won't go together. Because again, I think James Gunn, understands that. I think Matt Reeves understands that. The only kind of fly in the ointment I see, other than like fans kind of like trying to push that idea, the only thing like at a level within the studio itself, I kind of see complicating that is the guy we mutually agree is not a comic book scholar, which is David Zaslav, and that's the only thing I'm kind of a little bit, my mind is like, is he theoretically like trying to pressure Gunn and Reeves to like get this, to put these two together?
Unless he wants breach of contract and he wants just to pay Gunn to sit at home after he resigns, then no. Like I said, there are certain things that you cede for a time when you approach. Now it's like, Brad, I'm hiring you to do this, and this is what your role entitles. Now your lawyers and your agent and everything is going to get, okay, William, I will come and do this job, but here's what I need, and this is in writing, this is guaranteed. I need you to give me this much latitude for this amount of time. Then we reconvene when box office and all that comes out. And if you want to respond and react, then it's written into the contract like, hey, you know what? If you're doing these movies and they don't make any money, that part of the contract kicks into where we release you or whatever. And, or budgetary things right there. So like I said, if Brad, as part of your roles as DC studio head, I guarantee that I'm not going to shortchange you. You are guaranteed to have at least 150 million, 200 million for each of these mainline projects. And if I don't give that to you, that's breach of contract. These are things that over days and times and weeks that are worked into a contract. One of those things is going to be the creative control within reason. Now there's going to be things that he can't do with the IP as far as like selling it and doing things and like, stopping things, as a studio head, because he does not own the IP. Zazov's group, as an executive, they do, but that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about a straight up creative thing that was probably contracted to be under his umbrella, even if it's not, even if Matt Reeves gives autonomy. Remember what David Zaslav did, and to much to my chagrin at the beginning, he gave James Gunn everything. He took things that should have been, in my opinion, Abby and the Lucas to wrap up, and he put it in his purview.
We talked about that at length on here.
Yeah, he probably contractually did that. And to be honest with you, not only would it probably be a breach of contract, I don't think that Zaslav has any desire to do that. I think Zaslav knows he doesn't know that kind of stuff. He has a guy there. He's like me. If my plumbing is bad, I hire a plumber. If the car's bad, I hire a mechanic. He's hired the guy who he thinks, and he's well on his way to doing his thing. So I don't think you would have to worry about Zaslav doing it, because, like I said, that would have defeated the whole purpose of appointing a studio head. So I don't think that's going to happen, to be honest with you. I don't think it should happen. I don't understand where the fuel for these rumors are coming from, to be honest with you. And that's like that. I'm asking a legitimate question, and trying to figure out and trying to rationalize, why would you force a James Gunn atmosphere onto Matt Reeves, or a Matt Reeves atmosphere onto James Gunn?
Another thing I've seen floating around too is the argument you hate, which is that it's going to be too confusing to have multiple Batman. And I know what your answer to that is going to be.
We've already proved that to be wrong.
Yeah.
We've proved that to be wrong on levels, on media, paper, and everywhere else. You know what? People are so confused about Absolute Batman that it's flying off the shelf, along with upping the sales for a regular Batman. People are so, how many Supermans do I have on the shelf right now? And they're all selling right now, whereas Superman proper was not selling.
We also use the example of like Godzilla -1 and Godzilla, X Kong coming out within 3 months of each other.
Yeah. All right. The same lizard, but different name. Nobody got confused. All right. And like I said, I think I feel like we're moving past the point where you have people in place now that know fans aren't that stupid. James Gunn, as a studio head, as a fan, knows fans aren't that stupid.
See, I really would have thought at this point, like post Spider-Man No Way Home, that argument should have been dead and buried.
Well, that's not a good argument, though. That's not a good argument.
I get that, but it's like a good argument or not. It's like I would think that should have been that should have been like the turning point that killed it.
No, it couldn't be, because of the circumstances. When you talk about Spider-Man No Way Home, totally different circumstances than an actual parallel story. Spider-Man No Way Home, you're bringing in Spider-Man from other universe. What's happening here is there's complete stories being told parallel alongside each other. That's a completely different thing. But either way, once again, it's not scratch and sniff. I give comic book fans, comic movie fans a little bit of credit here. I don't think it's going to be a problem. Anybody who thinks it doesn't understand the genre. I don't think that'll be an issue with James Gunn, because he understands the genre. I could see that with the execs, the Sarnoffs, and the other, some of the other just regular studio junkies. That's all they do is manage. They don't have any idea about the IPs. Now you have a guy handling an IP that he knows a lot about, and I think a fan like this is probably going to give us a benefit of the doubt that we're not stupid. All right. And like I said, you have some of the best storytellers in the world writing these movies. It's literally their job to eliminate that confusion. All right. So you're basically, like I always say, in order to buy into the whole confusion rumor, one of two things or both things have to happen. Your fans are fucking morons or your storytellers are fucking moron. I don't think either is the case. I think the fans are smarter than that. I think these are some of the best storytellers in the world. We just got to let it happen. We don't have anything to judge it on. There's no atmosphere we've created where it's like, I don't know, wait a minute going on. And you know what? If there ever was, that was a failure on the company to like if you're wondering what the hell happened to Ben Affleck's Batman and now we got this new guy, that's a failure on the company. But I don't see that being applied here. You have a guy who has all of it under his umbrella now. The Batman has been out. You tell distinctive stories, you'll be fine. You know, if you start telling carbon copy stories, that's going to be stupid. But if you put out the Batman and you put out we got this guy fighting protoplasm Clayface, I think the fans are going to be able to figure it out. They are really smart. I engage with fans every day on all moviegoers and everything else. None of these people are stupid. Now, we fans may do stupid shit sometimes. That's a different stream. But as far as the aptitude to understand the differences between universes and characters, that's the Achilles heel of people running shit. Give some credit to the people buying your stuff. You know, and I think James Gunn will probably have a different attitude than the previous regimes.
No, fourth. I think fourth is fourth in there. We also got a super chat for fourth. Do you think by the time the Batman 2 comes out, he'll be old enough to play? Thank you for the super chat, but I mean, nah, it's a little stretch.
Nah, I think by the way, guys, with the whole thank you for the super chat fourth. When it comes to Batman Beyond, your shot is James Gunn. If it doesn't happen during James Gunn's tenure, I don't think it's ever going to happen.
And that's why it's again, if like I would have given his prior comic book movie like output, it's like I would have expected something like Batman Beyond from him before a Superman movie, because with him tackling the Suicide Squad and the Guardians, I mean, he's Superman is by far the most A-list character he's ever made.
Well, he wouldn't have started with Batman Beyond. If he was going to start with Batman, it would be,
I agree, but it's like, but that's as far as like starting a universe. But if he was, I could have seen him like pitching like kind of like an off the wall kind of like, okay, here's like, this is not like mainline continuity, but this is like me giving like the Guardians treatment to something DC related. It's like
but now it's Batman though, and the rules change. Once again, I mean, guys don't want to hear this, but there's no accident why we haven't gotten this. Batman that's not Bruce Wayne, and Bruce Wayne that's not Batman, it's DOA. At this point, it's DOA. Can it happen? Yeah, but what have I always said? You gotta. It's like Miles Morales. You have to give the credibility in this story that says, okay, Terry, you have to build that up. You have to educate the audience and get them in on it with you, to where you have that support network for that character. Just pulling it out of your ass, it's not going to happen, and they know it's not going to work. Now, if there's anybody once his Batman gets out there, or as things roll on, if there's anybody in the next 10 years that's going to give you a Batman Beyond live action, it's James Gunn. The guy gave you a talking tree and a talking raccoon. That's far more ridiculous than a Batman that's not Bruce Wayne. But once again, you're making money on borrowed money. You're making movies on borrowed money. You're getting people to say, hey, you want front us this amount of money, and you get your profit on top. And these guys are not geeks. They're not they're not sitting in front of the TV. They to the people who matter and fund these things and make these decisions. Batman is Bruce Wayne. Superman is Clark Kent. And, if you're going to do anything other than that, you need to start making the case yesterday, or else it's not going to happen. But once again, Batman Beyond fans, James Gunn's your shot. He's your shot. It's going to happen. He's the guy.
Unfortunately, sad but true, Aaron, with all these villains.
We'll be all right, guys. We'll be all right.
Bell Rev says, well, again, it's like Williams says, he thinks he's made the argument James Gunn's your best shot on that too. So
yeah. And right now, like I said,
and again, I think he just kind of made it. I don't think he was intentionally making it, but he kind of made an argument for you on the whole against the idea like too much time has passed when you said, well, we had like 7 years between this sequel or 10 years between this sequel. So it's like, why couldn't the same apply to the whole Justice League thing?
I have only watched the one episode, and I wasn't on board with it. It's gonna take me a long time to not be pissed off from New Blood. I'm gonna watch some more episodes of it because obviously, spoiler alert, he didn't die at the end of New Blood. So I need to know what the hell happened. Then they got another show, Resurrection, which I wonder what the hell is that going to be about. I'm gonna let them make their case to unpiss me off. Dexter New Blood pissed me off.
I've never heard it put that way.
Dexter New Blood pissed me off. I love Dexter, and I had almost forgiven him for that dreadful last season, not sticking the landing, and how they did that just nonsense there. But I'm sorry, Dexter New Blood. You want to talk about confusing fans? Dexter New Blood goes beyond that. Dexter New Blood grabs you by your ears and says, not only do we think you're a fucking moron, we don't think you have any memory or common sense, but open up wide while we shit down your mouth with this horrible last 4 episodes of that show. And the more you know Dexter, the more you know that show, the more fucked up Dexter New Blood's last couple episodes are. I was so angry because there are parts in Dexter New Blood that are really good and bring you back to the old school formula. But man, those last couple of episodes make that whole. I was it, and then they were sending me surveys, because I was Showtime. Hey, you guys, how excited on a scale of 1 to 10 are you about? No, 0. Is there a Greek number for negative? What is it? Nothing. 0. How excited are you about Dexter Resurrection coming? 0. Now, will I give it? I watched the first episode. It seemed kind of lame, but. The first episode's the thing. I was watching it with hate in my eyes and in my soul. Because if for those of you in the chat or then that'll watch, comment later on who love Dexter, this is only for Dexter lovers, who love Dexter, think it's some of the height, of great storytelling. You know how you felt when the original show ended, right? And you know how you felt when Dexter New Blood ended. The common sense train left the planet. The stupidity train came to planet Earth. And I'm like, what? And without spoiling it, because I know some of you guys haven't seen it, and we'll probably start watching Dexter New Blood if you started watching this Dexter what is it called? New Blood? I forgot. I just put it up. Yeah, but the new Dexter show, it's called Dexter something, but it's Dexter. It's him prior to him, he's in the hospital bed. After apparently surviving, okay, great. So now he's having his whole life flash above his head.
Dexter Born Again?
No, that's what is it called? Like I said,
we got Dexter Born Again, then Daredevil Born Again. That's close together.
No, it's Dexter something. I mean, like I said, I have it on my queue, and I'm gonna wait. Till yeah, Dexter Morgan. What is the new show called? I'm surprised you guys in the chat don't know about it. I have it on the tip of my head, but it's like, let's see, Dexter's Dead, Dexter's Final Cut. And by the way, I tried to read the books. The books are lame, so forget about it. It's really hard to describe what Dexter does in a book. Let's see, critical reception, connection after shows. I guess I forgot. But like I said, I know the newest one coming out is Original Sin.
Okay.
That's the new show.
No, my ex-wife typed it in 2 separate messages.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. But yeah, I like I said, I really didn't like the way they ended it, and I'm like, how are you guys gonna save? Maybe they will. Maybe Original Sin will just be like, okay, all right, I'll give you another chance. You're drawing me in, but I'm like a raccoon going into a trap that literally says trap on it, but because a raccoon can't read, I'm going right in for the meat. So I'm gonna watch the show, but I'm gonna be like, you're not doing this to me again. Resurrection, I don't know how they're gonna pull that off. By making a show Resurrection, you're telling me that he makes it through this ordeal that he's in Original Sin. But yeah, I got mixed feelings. I loved Dexter, man. Seasons 2 and 4 of Dexter are some of the best TV I've ever seen. The Trinity Killer, John Lithgow, won an Emmy for that role. Man, that boy, the mental chess that you have to play in your head watching Dexter. And that's the thing, is that you spend 90% of the time an appreciation for how smart your fans are for watching Dexter. And then, like I said, it's like to say, oh, you rocket scientists that have been following this whole way, we're going to give you some Legos. We're going to give you 2 Legos. Can you put them together? That's the story we're giving to you. And I'm like, that pissed me off. So no, we're going to hold off on Dexter. I'm going to get around to it, but like I said, I watched that first episode and I was like, ooh, you motherfuckers. All right, so who do we got? Do we got any more? I think if anything, WB will wait to see how well the Superman movie is received before making a decision on where to put the Batman. That would be a mistake.
Yeah, they got to stop pussyfooting around.
Yeah, you have to put your flag in the sand or in the dirt, and you got to stick it there. You need to be planning, as you know, no matter what, because like I said, what happens if you make a banger of a movie that's great, and for a lot of reasons that have nothing to do with the quality of the movie or how well the movie will be received later on, you know, it doesn't make you a billionaire. It doesn't make a certain amount of money, but it's a good movie that's received. It's marketable. You're selling tons of crypto plushies and talking dogs and flying frisbee dogs and hot dogs and anything with him on it. You're making money there. If there are indicators beside on box office, you need to wait for that, and that's going to take time. And you can't be waiting. Let's waiting for because A, you cost yourself more money because you could be filming these things in consolidation, and B, you're blinking again. How as a consumer am I going to have faith in your franchise if you don't have faith in the franchise and the guy you picked? No, they need to start planning. They need to start budgeting, and they need to move as if they're going to be. They need to move as if they know they've made a great story and that fans will originally come around. They cannot make the mistake of the previous regimes when they didn't have a studio. You need to look at your work and tweak it, make adjustments where it is necessary, and then you need to go into the next project. You need to, like I said, you don't need to follow the content of Feige, but the structure and the mentality of Kevin Feige from 2008 all the way up to 2018, you know what? Not everything went the way they wanted to, but they made adjustments. They didn't hide under the chair panicking and watching Box Office Mojo, wondering if it's going to ever be safe to come from under the table again. No. You know, if something didn't go exactly the way they needed to, he made adjustments. And that's what he needs to do. He didn't stop planning. He just made adjustments and moved on. So if they are doing that, then they haven't learned from the previous regime's billions that they lost. I hope that's not the case. All right, let's see. That should take them so long. Batman 2 2030. Shit, I mean, you're 99 Batman for line. I'm just reading through Office of Bat since Batman on. Like I said, you probably be old enough to play Bruce Wayne, I guess. I don't know. Okay, you read that super chat. I'm just seeing if we could yeah. Omega, are you like a genie or something? People summon you. What's going on, dude? I think Dexter could work now. You just can't. You need to have a fan in the room and like, hey, are you stupid? And the fan says no. Okay, then this is off the table. Some of the stuff they did in Dexter New Blood was like literally as if we hadn't been watching the show. I mean, and it made the detectives in the show look real dumb. There are credibility and issues and histories that you build up with a particular Angel Batista. Angel Batista. Cool cat, wears a fedora. He's one of the coolest characters on the show. One of the smarter characters on the show. Legit detective material on the show, the entire length of the show. This guy's been a sharp cat, he's street smart. They made him look like fucking Big Bird the last 3 episodes. They made him look like he wouldn't be able to get out of his cop car without tripping over his own feet. They made him, and the stuff that they laid out, I'm like, hey, what? So no, that's not a product of its time. You can write Dexter stories at any given time. You just gotta pay attention to what you're doing and not, take us, realize, hey, the reason why this show works in a new iteration is because of the people who've been watching it. Once you know that you're trying to carry over an audience, don't act like the audience never watched the shit that you wanted them to come watch again. Come on, man. All right, Dexter Born Again. You guys can't see that. I mean, it's chat. And I don't have Twitch up. I don't feel like I'm too lazy to go fuck with it right now. All right, Batman. Are all having these days? Jesus Christ. Okay. First 2 seasons of X. Okay. Season 1 was a groundbreaking. You know, it is what it is. It introduced you to this character is just, you know, it's just weird. It's a serial killer that he has his code. He only kills other killers. He only kills people that deserve to die. You know, in his opinion. And that whole first season and the Ice Truck Killer, dude, that was great. Matt Reeves, if I know if you know when you if you ever do the Mr. Freeze, that's where you start right there. Season 2 hurt my head. It was so good. Season 2 of Dexter had me stressed out. Are they gonna fucking get this guy? They came so close to getting him, and the way they shot the promos and cut the trailers, it always looked like they got him, and you watch the episode and you never got him, and it's like, and there's dokes and all the other stuff, all the maneuvering you had to watch. It was so good, it was stressful to watch. That's how good. Season 3 was all right. Wasn't the best. Season 4 literally is up in my top 20 of best seasons of any type of show ever. The Trinity Killer. And now they're trying to bring him back in a prequel. I'm like, okay. John Lithgow, who I had, you know, he's not on my radar for anything. He's in movies I don't go see. He's on shows I don't watch. But I respect him. I know who he is, right? You know who John Lithgow is. You know, he's John Lithgow. All right? He's, you know, any movie I half sat in that he was in, I didn't like. I think he was in Buckaroo Banzai, one of the absolute worst pieces of trash ever made, by the way. But so it's like John Lithgow, I didn't know he could act like that. I did not know he could. He brought it to a new level. Arthur, you know, his name's Arthur. He's a Trinity Killer, and him and Dexter's duel through season 4, going once they know who each other is, it's classic, dude. And it stands up to this day. So yeah, the Trinity Killer was, oh my goodness, that's. But I'm a big fan of serial killer stuff, and like I said, that was like, you know. That was like playing poker with 2 serial killers sitting at the table. They were just constantly trying to outdo each other. All right. Yeah. I thought my cable went out. I actually thought I was calling up my dad. I'm like, hey, did your TV black out? Because the way Sopranos ends for you guys, I'm not gonna tell you. Exactly.
I don't know. A lot of people seem to think that Lost is the worst ending of all time in any TV series.
Okay, the problem with Lost is for the most part it sucked. All right, and I like that guy. You know how I feel about the guy who does that stuff. Who does the 2 people who are largely Abrams, and then Lindelof did the writing for that, if I'm not correct. So you're talking about 2 people I have the highest regard for. Lost sucked, and I tried to tell Lost people in these little groups and stuff where they would bring Lost up and other things I wasn't talking about. Tried to tell you could see where that show was headed. If you gave your soul to that show in its last 2 years, I'm sorry, you needed to see that coming. And that ending, I tuned in for that ending, and I'm like, what? I had given up on the show, but I felt you could feel the anger in America that last episode. You can look out, you can see the heat. You can see.
Oh, wait a minute!
Infrared scan. If you did an infrared scan on the Earth when the last episode of that was being aired, you would be red. That show.
Oh no! Well, you think that was that? I mean, how can we forget the response to Game of Thrones finale?
Not as bad as Lost. You know why?
So?
Because okay, it had been waning a little bit. After episode 3 of issue, I'm talking comics, season 8, after the Battle of Winterfell, they started doing some really stupid stuff, and you could kind of see that this may not end well. And in previous seasons, they started doing something. It was still great, but they started doing things that let you know that the story structure wasn't as strong as it was in like seasons 4, 5, and 6. Once you reach season 7, Game of Thrones started giving you signs that we may not be able to land this plane. Lost did it halfway through its entire run. Okay, if you give me six seasons of stellar TV show, and you start to get weak in the last few years, and you put the plane in the ocean, the last 3 episodes of the last season. I still look at Game of Thrones as an achievement. Lost, fuck that. And like I said, my expectations for those gentlemen are high, and they don't even get off the crawling stage in Lost. Some of the stuff that they expect you to believe in Lost, it's like, what? I understand it's a TV show, but by your own rules, this sucks. And that final episode, oh my goodness. I was like, I told you you needed to give it, you needed to let go of Lost. I told you for 2 years. I think this show is headed for a massive disappointment. Even I wasn't expecting that. I was waiting for that. After that ending, I'm like, where's Gilligan? Where's the professor? Where's the Howells? Marianne? You know what? Where's the chimp from Gilligan's Island? You know, I got a rocket science professor that can't get off the island. He can't build a raft, but he's an astrophysicist. That's the kind of logic that the last season lost.
I think actually, I'm going to pull this up. I think we have footage actually of the that response you were talking about. It was like an infrared of the Earth. I'm not going to play the audio because I don't want to get it pulled down. But if you did an infrared of the Earth and like during the Lost finale, it would look something like this. It's like, yeah, we have the footage right here.
I know what you're about to do. Oh no.
Yeah, this is the response to the Lost season.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Dennis the Menace. Showtime, Paramount recognizes Dexter as a brand, and they look for fans to support the product. And yeah, but they pissed off fans. I'm a fan. Listen, I'm not a new viewer of Dexter. I'm a card-carrying member of the Dexter religion. Even if you're not, even if you're trying to get new, your new fan is going to go watch the old shit. They don't know who Dexter is. They're going to watch. You have it on there for that. But if you're making it for me, I'm the old fan. I'm the old cat. You what? I literally didn't have, and I watched this show. There's Teflon Tony. He does after shows and stuff where he breaks it down. The funniest one he ever did was after the season finale of Dexter New Blood. He broke down. He took the words out of my mouth and just put them in a New York accent. If you guys look up his channel, Teflon Don or Teflon, I forgot his actual because I haven't listened to him in a while. He does Game of Thrones ones too, but he was doing it for Dexter New Blood. He had done them for the previous Dexter, and he pointed out everything that I was dancing around in my head. And I'm like, okay, I'm not crazy because this guy is sharp. So yeah, he is fucking that show. Yeah, we got to ban Dexter. We got to ban Dexter New Blood because it's my I can feel with the veins in my head popping out. But All of Us Are Dead is a great show. I've heard about this. I need to hey, you know what? Congrats, Mega Swiper. Was those? How do you feel about those last 2 seasons?
Did you survive that explosion we just showed? We should play the theme to Gilligan's Island. Well, you could sing that too.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work, Anthony. Sometimes you get lightning in a bottle, and that's it. It's really hard to capture what Arthur was when the Trinity Killer. It was. I don't know if I need to know how he got there. I personally don't care how Dexter got there, but we know why. Because when the show is being written right, he told you how he got there. Harry's ghost is talking to him about the whole thing. So, all right, Son of Anarchy I think Son of Anarchy. Listen, obviously, so many people got killed, and the last death in particular was like that was the show. I mean, I'm like, fuck, and how that person died. Spoiler alert: it's been off the air for 6-7 years. Sorry. I really liked Sons of Anarchy added years to certain people's. I thought Katie Segal was in the witness protection program, and she was on that show. Churchill, yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, I remember that. That was the one where Deb found out. Yeah, Colin. Yeah, he was great. Blasphemy. What were we talking about? Blasphemy? Oh, because of Lost. I'm sorry, dude. Listen, Omega. There are millions of people out there that will take my, that are punching in the sky right now if I bring that up. Woody's Roundup is the ending. Let's see. All right, so right now we're going to go ahead. I never watched Ozark. I heard good things about it. So, all right, so Absolute Wonder Woman.
Which again, I've got this issue. I haven't read it yet, though.
Okay, I'm not going to spoil. Well, maybe I'll fuck around and spoil it. Who knows? I'll try not to spoil it for you, but
Yeah.
a lot of magic use in this. A lot, dude. How do I? Well, it's a comic book. You just read it. She cuts off her arm. Well, she's already cut off her arm. She cut off her arm because remember Steve Trevor is in hell with her, and she needed a way to get him back. But the only way to get him back there was a ritual where you have to sacrifice the dominant arm of a warrior, and she does. So when you see her again from this point on, that other arm is her dominant arm. Is she uses other things to make new arms, which is like I said, the kind of magic she's using in this. Let's see if I can bring up. I want the ones with the panels. I'll open it up and show you, but I really like being able to close up. Yeah, and by the way, there's this awful. This is the standard cover, by the way. This is the standard A cover. This is I don't know who did this cover, but it's a beautiful cover. This is the B cover. This is my favorite one of the three that I have in right now, and it's this one right here. I'll pull it up. It looks like something that would be on a wall. Now, there's a particular type of monster in here, and the way that they tell you the story about the monster, they use pottery. They use hieroglyphs and stuff on pottery to tell the reader the story, which I really enjoyed. Let's bring it up in here. By the way, speaking of Brad and Fortress of Solitude, there is I forgot his name. He works for Fortress of Solitude. If you haven't had a chance to pick up the issue and you want to have it broken down for you, or you think you might have missed something, he does an excellent job breaking it down and letting you know some of the things that even I missed.
Oh, was that okay? Look that up.
He's got an accent. I know. That's all I've
Probably might have been Sergio or Tito or Jared. Yeah, what some of the other guys that write for Fortress of Solitude?
Yeah, it's one guy who does the Absolute. He does all the Absolute comics.
Gotcha.
So yeah, this is the monster that they're fighting. Let me go in here real big here. But there's panels right there. But for those of you guys who haven't looked, so this is her telling the story of the monster. It basically devours you. It's like a sarlacc. It devours you, and then it drives you mad. So it eats you. It plays a sound. It plays a sound that attracts you to it, and you just run into its mouth, and then it drives you crazy, and then it devours you slowly. So that's the current thing she's up against now. That's who she's fighting now. That's her arm that got cut off, but this sword is huge, and she's fighting this thing, and she's trying to she's trying to convey just how dangerous it is with the army. Now, these page breakdowns for this particular comic, and you'll notice in the same with Absolute Batman, I love the giant sectioned off non-square page breakdown. Neil Adams used to do this back in the day. He would break up comics that way. When he wanted you to focus on the big baddie, the big monster, he would do that. It's titled Wonder Woman Last Amazon, Part 3 of 5. By the way, all of them have the same titles as 1 through 5. It's the first arc. All right, so this is her with Steve Trevor. They're still in hell. And she's fallen in love with him, but she knows she needs to get him back to Earth, and she starts she's willing to sacrifice herself, and that's when Cersei realizes that you don't belong here. I don't know what it is that the gods say the Amazons did, but you don't belong here. And that's her cutting her arm off right there. Real graphic. She cuts her arm off and she burns it. And it allows Steve Trevor to get back to his whatever time he's supposed to be. But the art in this The art in this, the art in this, for those of you who have read Mobius, some of the stuff that he's done, the way it's all crowded on some pages and spaced out on the others, really loved it. She's basically each episode shows just how different she is from our Wonder Woman. The magic being the biggest deal. The magic is, her lasso is not a lasso of truth. She's able to conjure up spells. She makes sacrifices. I mean, she can sacrifice beings she doesn't want to, but at the core of her, she's still wanting to save lives. She's grown up in hell, and she's in this dark side, backwards ass universe. But at the same time, she's still a heroine. She still knows right from wrong. This one has, I think, the best visuals of Absolute Wonder Woman has the best visuals of the three that have been released so far. Batman is still my favorite of the three. Batman still story is gripping and it's getting deeper and deeper, and the Rogues Gallery, the way they're being manipulated into different characters that you don't necessarily recognize, but they're all unified by the zoo shooting, which is why the entire arc is called the Zoo, because what it produces is was a hero and a bunch of criminals and a bunch of crappy circumstances, and seeing Martha Wayne alive and active in society is weird because that's one of the things that he's been without. And so he's tempered in that way. With her, I need to find out what's gone on with these Amazons, what they did for the Amazons to be wiped out and for her to be banished into hell, and what Cersei did to be banished there with her. So, I really, way to go, Snyder. She cut off her own arm. One arm. She cut off her dominant arm in order for her spell to work. Why did they steal that Snyder Rebel Moon? You lost me there, Omega. That SOB. You guys, what are you guys are? Maybe, but he never gave any he hasn't given any indication so far, but who knows? He did a lot to hide his secret, and his father used his connections to hide his secret. Let's see, comments. All right. Oh, Nemesis. You're talking about Nemesis. That's who she's talking about. Okay. I don't see the parallels there. One of them's cutting off her arm for a spell. The other one's cutting off her arm for vengeance. I don't see the parallels there, but maybe. Let's see. I'm sure Paradise. I hope Paradise takes the inspiration from this. I really do. I guess you could say that.
I thought so too.
I guess you could see that. I get, like I said, Gene. I forgot his full name, but Mobius is what he goes by, and his artwork and the colors, the way he does colors, the layouts remind me of that. And I don't know if that artist is the covers or something else. So each of these covers, Wonder Woman so far of the three Absolute Universe has the best covers. I mean, she has the best covers out of all of them.
I think Superman has my favorite, overall artwork out of the three of them so far. But they're all excellent.
And each one of them has a Jim Lee variant. Like I said, this is the original Jim Lee variant from number one. This is the version cover of that one.
God, that sword is as big as she is.
Yeah, and there are ones where the colors, they use red. Absolute Wonder Woman uses red in the best ways, especially on the covers that I've ever seen a comic used. There's a lot of reds going on there, but it's a very violent comic too. She's dismembered me. She dismembers everything. I mean, she cuts.
What are you talking about? Those guys are all fine, just like in the Batman one.
Yeah, when she lost her arm, it's fine, but she cauterized her arm, and they show her using a robotic type of magical arm she used or magic to put together. Do we think Wonder Woman is an old woman or young? I don't know what the circumstances of this universe. They haven't gotten to that part to where we find out when she was created, how long she, how long is it between when she sends Steve Trevor back before she gets on there? Is she 5,000 years old? Because she's a baby when you first see her in the story. So is that how long has she been in hell? So these are things that they're going to answer. I have no doubt. But lots of magic, great artwork, more backstory. You see her character as a hero being born through in Cersei, who's obviously we watched Cersei on Creature Commandos, and you see where that path led. So this is a different Cersei, but I really like the fact that like I said, I'm trying to. I want to say some things about, like I said, I know some of you haven't gotten it yet.
Yeah.
Some of you who are reading this,
I very much want that too, Aaron. And I have no doubt they will be. These are going to be adapted into things.
yeah, toys. I really wish to do. Where's the Barbie at for this?
Yeah, the absolute Wonder Woman Barbie. It's like, oh yeah, it's like that. Yeah, that's a Barbie. It's like I would grab off the shelf.
Barbara Minerva, Cheetah's in here, but it's not the Cheetah. Not the Cheetah we recognize. She's actually a really young kid. She doesn't even look like a full-grown woman here, and she's following. She actually knows who Wonder Woman is. They don't explain why, but she calls her Wonder Woman. It's the first time in the series somebody's called her that. But yeah, here's her with her prosthetic arm, and she can basically make the arm out of anything. So that you can't see it, she can grab sticks or whatever. She can make her arms out of anything. But yeah, a lot of it is her fighting different various monsters. They haven't told you yet who the main baddie is. Now, this monster she's fighting, she makes some kind of spell to it'll make everyone deaf, so that they remember how I told you that monster can it uses sound to attract you into its mouth, and then you suffer. So she's basically using a spell here to make the entire city deaf, so that they won't be drawn to the monster's power, so that way she can fight it. Good issue. Best issue of the series so far. I mean, I understand we only have 3, but it is Absolute Wonder Woman 3. Hardcore. Doxy created a new universe by dying, or when it comes to that. Well, no, what he did, and they haven't explained it yet in DC All In, he's looking for something. And he ends up finding the Spectre. He ends up merging with the Spectre and then causing this explosion. They never truly, I mean, you know who he's looking for, what, but his reasoning for it, I never really got the gist of completely. I think that's a story they're going to tell when he comes back. Yeah, he merged with the Spectre and wanted to get how you doing, Music Man, and wanted to. I guess he was looking for the secret to the universe. I guess the anti-life equation wasn't enough for him, so he was looking to become something more than he was. He uses, he hunts out Jim Corrigan, and that's how that happens. All right, we have hit all of our topics. And like I said before, it's going to be an abbreviated show because of the fact that, like I said, today was just wild, man. And it is the holidays. It's the holidays, so the schedule's kind of wacky. We will be back to our normal regular scheduled Sunday night live streams tomorrow at 10:30. The Death Story sounds cool. Imagine being one of the heroes and everybody stays death. Yeah. It's because of the monster that she's fighting. Is uses sound to draw victims in. That was an All In. That was in All In number 4. Absolute number 4, and that's when you read. I'm gonna mute Brad for a second here because when you read Absolute number 4, which I have on the shelf, it's 2 different comics. It goes all the way up to the point where he merges with the Spectre. And then you flip the comic over, and then in fact, let me go grab it. This is DC All In. This is number 4. This is where it all begins. The story was leading up to this, but this is the actual issue, number 1, where this all happens. So, the Justice League's doing their thing, leading everybody to the tower, and then this all leads to Justice League Unlimited, by the way. And then here's Darkseid. Darkseid's just gone crazy. Nobody knows why, but he's trying to he's changing, he's transforming, and he needs to fight. He's just killing everybody, but this is what happens. He basically ends his own existence, but by merging with the Spectre, and then there's the rift. So the normal universe is on the other side of this rift, and then inside of this rift is the actual DC. And Booster Gold figures it out because he goes to the future and he sees the Omega. There's the Omega symbol on the Daily Planet, and then it says to be continued in the Absolute Universe. And so now you flip the book over. Absolute Superman, Absolute Batman. This is the first appearance of all these characters, and now we're reading the book from their point of view, which I think was very cool. So you're introduced to all these characters. There's an introduction to Absolute Superman. There's an introduction to Absolute Batman, Absolute Wonder Woman. So if you want to really get a start on the Absolute universe, the all-in special number 1 is where you need to start, and it's still relatively cheap. All right, for the 69 of you that are watching across our platforms, please like, subscribe, and come over to the mothership, and should probably be a fucking pit bull or something. Hold on, I need to unmute you. You had something going in the background, so I muted you when you stepped away. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I almost want to see this happen. It's like, God, what would he?
Absolute. It's going to be a Cujo, dude.
Yeah, it's absolute. That's probably what it would be. It's like Cujo,
fucking Saint Bernard that can turn over cars or something like that with T. Wallace. Yeah, come over to Sci-Fi Center, youtube.com/@the Sci-Fi Join us there. It benefits the channel greatly, more so than it does on Elon land there. So, all right, guys. Listen, it's been a weird weekend. Thank you for being flexible, and I know this was a much later show than what we usually do, but I think as the holidays get behind us here, we're going to start going back to normal. We will be now. I will make that event tomorrow night, or probably tonight. We will be doing our marathon. We will start with Man of Steel and go all the way through. And we're going to try to raise $4,100 on Tuesday evening, which is New Year's Eve, and wrap up this year the same way we wrapped up last year by getting to the $20,000 mark for the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention. And like I said, I'll have links and everything there for you guys, and we'll have the lineup and everything. But yeah, I will be here in this place for New Year's Eve. Where I've been the last 8 or 9 New Year's Eve.
It's going to be like go out into that giant parking lot out there in front of the Sci-Fi Center and show the
fireworks. And we'll watch the fireworks. We'll pause wherever we're at. Hopefully we're done. We're hoping we reach our goal by then.
And Aaron, I think we did. I think we talked about this a little bit the other night. But yeah, there's some talk about Power Rangers going to Paramount and a new iteration of it coming about, and basically would be kind of like a fresh start for it. So I mean, yeah, I'm a Power Rangers guy. I as long as they're not doing Turbo again. It's like there's no need to modernize Turbo.
We're not opening a panel tonight. We'll get back to open panels later on. Right now, just wasn't the night for it.
I would like to see with this new Power Rangers because my favorite part of Zeo was when Jason came back as the Gold Ranger. So I'd love to see like a modern take on the Gold Ranger. It's like some modern like Pyramidas and all that. So that'd be pretty cool. So.
All right, guys, please like, subscribe, share. You can always support your channel. There's several ways. All the links are in the description. Super chats, thanks, buying merchandise, things like that. All goes back into trying to make the show run smoothly and stay up and going. So for those of you new people, if you have any questions about anything that that you've seen, some of the stuff we've been talking about for a long time. Leave a coherent, meaningful comment in the comment section, and I like to engage you guys there. No nonsense, but just things that are like hey, who's this, who's that, and I can give you more context in a better format. So until tomorrow night at 10:30ish, I will see you guys for Brad and comicbook.com. I am William from the Sci-Fi Center, and we will see you tomorrow night.
Later.